And here's how the three-way handshake works. Okay, you have a computer who wants to send some data, and before it can send that data, it sends a communication to the other system that says, "Hi, I would like to talk to you. Here is the information that you will need in order to communicate with me." So that's step one of our three-step or three-way handshake. The second step is that the receiving computer gets that transmission and replies back and says, "Thanks, I got it. And here's the information you will need to be able to communicate with me." At which point, we get to step three, which is where the original computer transmits back, "Okay, I got your information. Now that we have established this connection, let's begin talking." Meaning now we can start transmitting data. So that's what we mean when we say that TCP is a connection-oriented protocol. And that's also why it's considered to be pretty reliable. Because if you're going to establish the connection before you start transmitting data, well, then there's a really good chance that that data is going to get to where it's supposed to go. Now, the other transport layer protocol is UDP, which stands for User Datagram Protocol. This protocol is what's known as connectionless. Okay, so it's the opposite of connection-oriented. It's connectionless, which also means that it's potentially unreliable communications. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, why would we ever do that? Right? I mean, why would we want to have unreliable communication? Well, UDP is also a lack of overhead. You don't have to have that three-way handshake. You don't have to establish a connection first, which means it can be much faster. So when speed might be more important than reliability, we can use UDP. One example, one real common example of where UDP is used is when you have streaming media. When somebody's broadcasting some audio or some video, maybe they're just sending a video across the internet, right? Some kind of a live feed. They don't need to check in with everybody who's listening or watching. They just send it out there. This boom, 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 boom. Just put it out there. And if the other side's getting it, great. If the other side doesn't, oh well. Right? That happens. Right? You watch some kind of a streaming video of some live event, and sometimes in the middle, there's a hiccup. Maybe you miss a word that was said. Well, that's okay. I mean, that's acceptable for that purpose. So those are the two transport layer protocols. Now, let's take a look at the internet layer protocols.